We cannot kill Brutal Qatar, but we can absolutely kill the rest. And this is the cool part about Nissa. Look how powerful the answers are with her. You sweep the board and you instantly have a 7/7 more than they can afford in their whole deck. And they need to go through it just to damage her. That's another one. Ha, you didn't expect this one. And suddenly the life totals seem very, very different than before. And that probably will force a sweeper. And we still have another tokens. Then I can... Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and I'm so excited to showcase you this banned Planeswalker deck, because there is one interaction lurking here that you have absolutely no idea, and it's so epic that when you see it, you will know it. I think it will be in second game in this video, so, you know, fingers crossed for this one. I think you will be absolutely amazed. And what about the rest? We are playing, you know, very control-ish shell with a lot of Planeswalkers, so we have the combo of Teferi and Cornucopia, which is life gaining like crazy, and basically makes Teferi cost only 2 mana, which is insane, and Tamiyo that can get back any of those Planeswalkers, so when they die, they still come back. Just a little bit different, you know? And of course, we cannot forget about, honestly, probably the most powerful Planeswalker here, Nissa Ascended Animist. This is the true Planeswalker. 7 mana, creates an 8/8 moment she enters the battlefield, and man, she takes over the game so hard it's not even funny. You will see it in today's video, you will see how glorious she is. Honestly, probably my favorite green Planeswalker. Like, she's amazing, man. Alright, so consider this excitement to be a good intro for your excitement, and let's have some fun. Alright guys, we're going first. No Planeswalkers still, but we have Celestus, so it means we can cycle to them very easily, and that also means that we have very good opening. And you know, like, you know what our opponent is, alright? It's the same thing. But our tools are pretty good so far. We will have to get some good value from Temporal Lockdown, and because we are on the play, even Talia doesn't hurt as much, but she already messed us up a little bit. So I guess she still is annoying, because I wanted Celestus on this turn for sure. Alright, an easy choice for me. We are targeting Adeline, because all of this dies to Lockdown, and it also means we can play Celestus on the next turn, which will make us a little bit better for the future turns. So our opponent can go all in. The problem for him is that the more all in he goes, the more we hit with the Lockdown, and Celestus is resistant to it. Oh, he just lost the game. So he will go with the Mirex, right? We probably go 3 steps ahead. 1 or 3, decide slow. But I think we go like this. I can take 1 hit just to get more value, basically. Talia is super annoying. We already paid 2 extra mana for her, but we can absolutely go around it. And our like, we can tap man, they don't want 1-drop. I think they are lowballing. I think they have an actual board in the end, and they're waiting for the first sweeper. Like, look at this, they don't want 1-drops. Alright, and after they've done it, they want another Talia. They're pretty smart. I think they realize that probably this one dies. However, if we cast this, so it's 6 mana, right? So we... Man, this is actually double completion cost. No, 5/7. Sloth, learn to count. 7. So we need to pay 2 life and get to 10. Alright. So, well, they have Adeline. Let's go. I think we should be fine, right? We could also try to kill everything. They replay the board. I think this is better. Don't forget that we'll gain some life. And we'll get a very, very cool token that can absolutely die. One of the cool things about playing Nissa. To be absolutely honest, Nissa is one of my favorite Planeswalkers. Alright, this is good, but I think they forgot about this whole day-night cycle, you know? If they do... Yeah, listen, I've been there, alright? You play it, you think you remove the creature, you attack, and you realize it's red. And then it's like, yeah, I just pretend I wanted it like this. And we can cycle. We don't need lands. Very nice cycle. Oh boy, absolutely love it. And as you can see, we kinda probably won the game, huh? We cannot kill Brutal Qatar, but we can absolutely kill the rest. And this is the cool part about Nissa. Look how powerful the answers are with her. You sweep the board and you instantly have a 7/7, more than they can afford in their whole deck. And they need to go through it just to damage her. I mean, we could counter it, but we don't care. We don't care. It also means they don't flip to the nighttime. Yeah, good play. See, this is what they were keeping for our sweeper. See? I absolutely knew it. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, Knight of Chaos. I wish I could counter it for 3 mana, but of course, my spells more expensive, my opponent's spells cheaper. That's how we roll. However, even with the throne, like, we can absolutely go around everything they have. So, I can play the lockdown, kill nearly everything. We kinda know their hand. I should attack first, but I honestly don't care, man. Like, it's not like I'm winning the game by doing damage to my opponent, right? And now, let's do the usual thing. So we have Teferi, we have a counter spell. If they go for the throne, we can do it. And with Teferi we should have extreme card advantage. Sure. I should probably counter it, man. I should probably counter it. But you know what? They are not winning in the board anyway, so we don't really care. All of those cards don't really matter. And that means we can draw more cards with the 3 steps ahead. And every single turn... See? So I created 9/9. And my opponent played a 5/6. I actually got ahead on this turn, even without countering anything. Do I want this? No, because we want the Emperor. We absolutely want the Emperor. They have some Brutal Qatars. They can double flip, but every time they do it, it's... Do I want to cycle? I might get a Sunfall. I will probably discard everything except Sunfall and Farewell. So yeah, right now they don't have really good options. When they start drawing cards, you know they are kinda losing the tempo game. Especially that this is the turn where they are really desperate to double spell. Because they want Brutal Qatar to get rid of this, and each token will be bigger and bigger. Oh, I see. I see. Of course, the one we want is uncounterable. Sure. I guess so. Let's see if they name the Emperor. Because we can pay the extra mana. So this was the one card I would counter spell. Just so they don't see my hand and I get some good value. But you know, it is what it is. We could also make a copy of something like a token, which probably would mean that we can attack on the next turn, force lethal, this kind of stuff, especially with the trample. But listen, I'm having fun and we are winning it, so I will just take my time. This is the type of game you actually want to play. Alright, let's go for this one. And we can just make so many tokens that I don't go for -2. Because they need to go wider than us, and if they cannot, that will be a huge problem for them. I mean, I could go with the trample. We have 1 forest, right? So let's do it 1 time more. And I really want to know how my opponent... Oh, they named the Emperor. I totally forgot to check what they named, man. And do we go counter spell or... No, we open mana. Like, look at our board. If they wait 1 more turn, I could attack. Come on, how is this not fun? We can also use 3 steps ahead to make a token. Good. So Nissa can give trample, but we don't need to burn Nissa because we are winning anyway. And they cannot flip still. One of the problems with, you know, Brutal Qatar is that for 1 turn you usually cannot make plays because you need to accumulate the cards. And you also need to draw non-land like 2 turns in a row. And then you can flip it once. So when they are burning cards like this, they probably won't be able to double spell. I mean, they might because they have 3 cards, but you know, what, they double spell once and that's it. Like, we create new token and they're in exactly... See? They cannot do anything. They're absolutely hopeless here. And listen, I'm having a great time, but we should probably start to end this game, right? Listen, I think this one is pretty fine. And we'll show our opponent that, you know, we can do stuff. I should probably cycle cards, but listen, I'm winning this game, I do not care super much. And let's make it even better. This way we make less toughness on them, so they won't be able to block everything. Like this is... Man, this is around 40 something damage. Oh my god. I think they know what's going on. I think they know. Let's read the ultimate. Creatures... Sure, I think that should work. Man, Nissa single-handedly carried this whole game. And you know what? I'll give the Samurai a first strike, because that's probably something they want to counter. My man, this is how you play aggro. Let's see it. Oh, they have a trick. A Qatar Commando, a 1 toughness. 1 toughness enters the battlefield. Alright, they are going for this one. So they suddenly have 3 more toughness, and I mean they have a lifelink. They can get... Man, they're actually playing! You know what? We will see, we will see. They need to defend 47 or something damage like this. They will need to sacrifice most of their board. But man, I'm kinda impressed. They might survive this. Alright. First strike against first strike. Probably not what you really want. Exactly. The other samurai. Oh, alright. But that's a double block. Man, if they survive it, they're a trooper. They're a real trooper. But listen, that's kinda fun. Like we are having an interesting game thanks to this. I have a bad feeling that their math is a little bit off. I just want to point out they had a lifelinker. Alright guys, we are on the draw with no removal on turn 2. Is that an end of the game? Probably, but I'm taking it. Because there is a chance that someone doesn't play mountain, right? Sometimes it is possible, and then our hand is actually pretty good. I don't have 2 mana play, so why wouldn't we do this? A lockdown. Well, this is probably not the card for the matchup. You know, I might regret it, but it really doesn't feel like any kind of weird aggro deck with, you know, a slow opening. Extra mana is extra important, alright? That's the sentence for the... Absolutely love it. Man, my live game is way better because I maybe didn't get the card, but I'm getting mana advantage for the rest of the game, which is super important, especially with cards like 3 steps ahead. This is his moment to shine because we are tapped. But if he uses this moment to shine, and now we can play Teferi for 2 mana, and you think it costs 4, but no, it costs way less. We need to decide which Planeswalker we play. Man, maybe Teferi. Teferi seems so insane here. If they don't have removal, they will lose. Listen, it's too sweet. Like, we need to use this Teferi. Like, it's been overdue. And this is one of my favorite Planeswalkers. Like, you know, the blue one for drawing cards and the Nissa for creating huge green creatures. Please, don't have Get Lost. Please, don't have a removal. They only have... You know what? This is okay. I already got some value. I forced him to tap. I am actually happy with this. Alright, and now, the cool part. They might have the thing. I really don't want this countered, man. Oh, I'm so scared. Please don't have it, please don't have it, please don't have it. Be a good person, don't normalize me. Oh no, they have it. When you see this highlight of Doom, you know what happens. You know, to be absolutely sure, that was probably too much of a risk, but I didn't want to let him untap. And it's not like we don't have other Planeswalkers, but this kinda broke my heart, I'll be honest. That was super sad. I probably want to go Emperor at the end step. Then I might cycle this. And then we go for the big plays. You know, we will see, we will see. So I don't need to super do anything on this turn. Simply because the next turn is the Memory Dirge turn, and that means he really doesn't want to... Oh boy, this is really tempting, isn't it? Alright, let's see what he does. Let's give him the decision first. Because he cannot tap out, because then I play Teferi again. If he used Soul Partition, that means he doesn't have other plays. At least he didn't have back then. So I will get some value. I'm getting my Emperor, and even though the Sorcerer speed is a factor right now, if they tap out the bird, that will be a heavy tap, and we can sneak some good Planeswalkers then. So I'm not sure if he will go for it, but maybe. This kills the Emperor, so it's a decent deal. No attackers, that's what I expected. And I can tap out fully. If they play Emperor, we will just try to attack her. Yep, he doesn't really have anything. Honestly, Otawara is amazing. I think they really want to go for a Memory Douche on this turn. Alright, how do we do it? I probably want to force a little bit of a board. He is at 31, so he has plenty of time, but still, you know, still. I need as much mana as possible, like it's super important. So we can attack. If he activates Dunk, I don't think, he seems to be a smart player, and he knows what risk it will be. Yep, good place, good place. I think we have still at least one basic in the deck, maybe two, I don't remember. Alright, thinking about Field of Ruin already. So if I Teferi, they have to react, right? They have to react to this. And we're life gaining quite nicely as well. I'm not sure if they will counter this one. Yep. So I can untap everything if I want, because I'm kinda forced to probably counter the Memory Douche, I'm not sure. I think I want mana. Oh man, this will be pretty huge. Oh, but I want to untap my own lands? I can tap his mana, but we are in the second phase, so it doesn't make sense. Alright, let's go for our... I kinda mess up, maybe. But no, it was worth the try. Some players will go for the Anchorage, and that would make everything way easier for me. They really seem to want this Memory Douche. Like, they ignored basically everything. That might suggest that their hand sucks, kinda. So if we counter it, how can they punish us? Do your worst. I wouldn't play like this, but he was so desperate to get this Memory Douche that I would change my play. Lockdown is not good at all, like we don't need this card. So our opponent needs to, you know, answer 2 Planeswalkers and, you know, a small board. And he has only 1 new card. Okay, that doesn't feel, you know, very desperate. Like, if he... I wonder if he just drew it, or that was... It feels like he drew it, man. He had so many times, like, 6-7 mana open, or 5-6 mana, and he never cast it. I think that's a new draw. Which is super good for him. Alright, I can start getting extra cards. We can also try to go for the ultimate. Guys, do you think ultimate makes any sense? No, I think we need to go for some value. I don't think against this kind of super heavy control that we'll have enough time to ultimate. And the next play will be Oko, probably. He knows about the Teferi, of course. I would love to farewell the Memory Douche. But I'm not sure if we have time, honestly. You can see that the damage stacks, but with all those unions he gets way more room than he normally has. But this kinda beats the value he has, right? So we just go for the graveyards. We could also play Oko and start getting even more value. Then he Sunfalls, and I can answer the Sunfall pretty nicely. 3-5, he has 4 mana on top of it, so that's not very much. He knows about the Teferi. Man, getting rid of Memory Douche is huge here. Like, it's really huge. Alright, I will go for this play. I'm not sure if it's worth it. But this is probably the best value we'll get from Farewell this game. Alright, we still have open March and Get Lost. And the problem is that normally a control player would need to react to this, but because he has so much life gain, he doesn't need to, so then he can make a bit better plays basically. Against the Emperor, okay, Joint Exploration, that's fine. It's still a decent value, but it's only one good card. And he already used double Memory Douche, right? So we are beating the value. We definitely need some more value in the board. I would love some Tamiyo Ultimate or maybe Teferi tokens. Like, we need to start pressuring them. And here's the untap. That hurts a little bit. But he's down to 6 cards. 5 if he plays a land. Alright, I think he's digging for the value. He's not finding what he wants right now. I think this could be something he drew with the last Joint Exploration, because it's good enough card to take it. But it's a card he would use before if he had it. That's my guess. Like, you know, try... Oh, this is the bomb. This is the bomb. I think we can stack some loyalty, because this is closing to a point when he needs to tap out and answer it. What about the Teferi? Do we take another card? If we draw something like a counter spell, we drew only one this game, so there's a good chance that we'll get more. He won't tap on this turn. So I think we take the card. I don't want to risk that the Teferi dies somehow. Here's our counter spell that we wanted. See? Everything by the book. And we are slowly pressuring this guy. Now we have both 3/3, so even the Anchorage cannot do anything. And even though he ignored... By the way, if not this life gain, he would be at 7 or something like right now. And that would mean that he needs to start reacting. He's playing around this Teferi because he knows we basically have it in the hand. That's another one. Ha! You didn't expect this one. And suddenly the life totals seem very, very different than before. And that probably will force a sweeper. And we still have another tokens. Then I can tap his mana with Teferi, and we go from there. And then we can play our Nissa or Teferi. Like, he is fighting against triple Planeswalker right now. And even a heavy control deck sometimes can whiff. Jace is a big deal. We are 7 cards from getting milled with double Jace, so I might consider keeping the counter spell for Jace, I'm not sure. A Farewell. Interesting. Interesting. I think in this situation we have to go for this. I would love to get a thing. Because we can only have 2 spare mana, it doesn't make sense to keep it. If that was 3, I would consider going around No More Eyes. So right now they will kinda lose this, you know, this small fight, you know, against Farewell. Because if they sweep the board, and I think they have a counter spell, they probably have another one, but now they need to tap, so that means my big Planeswalker enters the battlefield. And we have enough mana, and we got enough life gain. And this is where we shine, because now we make a power play. And now, he needs to do it all over again. He just swept? Well, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. I can get 1 extra mana, right? We cannot kill anything. Let's go for this one. Let's get the good mana. Alright, we have instant, so we don't need to fake anything. Oh, I knew about it. This was my idea, alright? Like, I expected this play. Oh my god, my deck is so good. Oh my god, Nissa and Oka are actually insane combo. You basically have hate, and he lost. I think he lost with this. He cannot beat the might of the Planeswalkers. Ha, you thought a heavy control deck will outvalue us. Well, now you know. Now you know. But honestly, this combo was absolute fire, man. Alright, we are on the draw, which is not perfect. Let's see what the aggro type is for this game. Let's go like this. So we have no more lives, which could be super important card here. Alright, so this seems to be a little of a slower deck. So this is extremely important. You know, the ramp will also be very useful, but we need to draw into those Planeswalkers. Yep, they're comparing the mana, so they might have a good play, and they're considering, is this guy good enough to draw a counter spell on his first opening hand? And you know the answer, you always are good enough to draw it. And because our opponent seems to be playing slowly, we won't tap out, because it seems that he cares about. Yep. Alright. So we can kill it at the end step. This doesn't die to a lockdown. But we can kill it with Get Lost. Then they will play everything at the sorcerer speed, right? Okay. I went with this play because I'm not sure what the build is, but it can be build focused around defending it, like with 1 mana blue spells. I'm not sure, but if that's the play... By the way, that was the last moment to counter something. Alright, this will be a bit of a problem, that's for sure, because we can kill creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. However, it's not any of those, so we probably need to start getting into this, you know, farewell situation. Let's ramp a little bit, this will help and give us more time, because we can start probably for 2 or 3 turns, but after this we need to start getting good cards. To be fair, if I didn't kill the top tier thing, well, it would be the same. Man, I'm drawing so many lands. Like, I'm really good at this. Alright, they probably have another one, right? Yep, that makes sense. It will create a thing. And what does it do exactly? Whenever you cast a spell, put a counter. I mean, we can do it on his turn, I guess. It's only a 3-3 right now. Alright, nothing more. I was a bit scared that they might play more. Fun fact, if you get lost this, the token is 5-5 and you actually get more damage to the face. That's a weird one, but that's how it works. So we probably want to start the game until we hit Planeswalkers. Like Nissa could absolutely dominate this whole thing, because while he has infinite value here, he still needs to play good cards. And I really need to cycle. Like I need different stuff. Like I need exactly not this. Alright, that's a something. But we are overdrawing clans by a huge margin. Alright. Well, I could try to do it now, right? But that will be my last play. So if I do it now, probably everything happens. Like they will make so many tokens, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Because this forces him to play stuff. He will get a lot of constructs and then I can lock down. I hope that's what happens, but we'll see. I can also play joint exploration, right? Alright, this one is not what I expected, but it kinda works, right? They get another one. And that's it. Alright, we still have to play this, I think. This is already quite a good, you know, quite a solid value. That's why we played Get Lost, so they don't get anything. Alright, it's daytime. We could use this just to get a free card. And honestly, I think it's better. Oh, this is so much value. We are really entering this farewell stage. This is the best thing they could have. Just because it not only creates a token, but it draws fuel for a lot of extra tokens. And this is exactly my strategy, trying to get them out of gas. Yeah, let's go for this. I don't really need the kicker. Like, I have more mana than I have, you know, spells to cast, basically. And, you know, we take our life gain. It helps a little bit. Like, we need to buffer a lot. This is not needed. Counterspell is okay. I know we cannot counter stuff, but we can cycle cards, so we are basically drawing 2 extra cards with this. You know what? I think we're going with the synthesizer. Like, this is kinda insane. If we can get rid of this, a lot of our problems are out. I won't have enough mana for 3 steps ahead, which is a bummer. Like, that's a big deal. I think I have to, man. I think I have to. We can still counter something or cycle cards, but we cannot do both. I would love to have another, you know, life gaining source. Alright, so that was a big thing. But the problem is with this Mightstone and the Weakstone, if they had 2 cards, I would assume that they won't have too many plays, especially we can counter one. But suddenly they're at 5 to get rid of the draw, and that's a lot. If they want to flip Celestus, they cannot play anything. If they play red artifacts, it's probably the, you know, the cloning battle something thing, right? That creates 3 creatures and costs 9 mana, I believe. Right, if they go for Scry, I'll take it. This is not the worst. But I need some good draws right now. It would be great to see, you know, a Planeswalker in our Planeswalker deck. But you cannot have it all, right? The life gain from this really gives us extra time. Alright, I don't really want to counter anything. So they will flip on the next turn for sure. They cycled quite a lot. Was that the card they discarded? I'm not... No, that was just removal, right? That was the get lost target. Alright. Alright, I think we're losing. I cannot win with this kind of draw, man. I'm basically flooding 80% of my cards. Like, I don't have value to play. I'm leaving this one in hand for cycling. So if he doesn't play anything that I can counterspell, I'm literally probably doing this. Well, unless he didn't use the Spire this turn, which is interesting. Alright, thank you, man. I really need some value. Like, thank you for assisting here, bro. I need to pay. I need to get this. And I have all the mana. If we draw something cheap, we can actually life gain on this turn, but with this we should start drawing our Planeswalkers, and that will get us, you know, really high on life. He wanted to draw 2 extra cards because he's out of fuel a little bit, and probably that's why he's keeping the Spire. I wonder if he has a counter spell. He plays like he has one. But the hesitation suggests that he won't counter it, but I'm not sure, we'll see. But usually when they counter it and when they have it, they do it now. Alright, I guess they have it. I guess they have... Not sure what the hesitation was. Maybe they were thinking between copying the Mightstone and the Weakstone and drawing cards and the construct. Maybe that was the... I'm not sure. That was a weird one. But with this we're probably losing. Our opponent just drew way more value than we... Bro, what are we even talking about? And, I mean, you can beat your opponent, but you cannot beat the Shuffler. Alright, I kinda like this draw. We'll see. We'll probably start with this, so we get blue mana, we get... Yeah, because we only have Negate, so that will be blue mana, so why pain ourselves? It probably won't hit anything, but you know, it could be Kumano, because you know it will be some Boros shenanigans, right? Or I expected Mono Red, to be honest, so... Sorry, one of the two. It's always one of the two. It's like, you know, the Sith. Always 2 of them are. Alright, so let's go like this. The land is very nice draw. I probably will go for this into Emperor or something, and then we try to go for 5 mana to counter, draw, and that will seal the game. Especially that with this draw on turn 4, we will probably hit some sweeper. So he's playing very weird stuff. This is definitely something we don't want to counter. I need to make stops, otherwise he knows that this is a counter spell. He probably knows it already, but you know. 3 damage is not the end of the world, you know? The problem is that if I tap now... Oh boy. If I tap now for this... Oh, I'm so dead, man. I'm so dead. So they will cast this again, hit us for a lot. This will have Vigilance. And this means it has more than 4 toughness, so our removal spell doesn't kill their 1-drop because it has 2 high stats. Which makes perfect sense. We can counter one of the spells, but we are not countering this nor this because it's not worth it. So maybe just... Yeah, I think we just go with it, man. So instead, we will force them to basically go absolute all in. We cannot counter anything, but on the next turn... And they will probably use this, right? Because it's a decent value for a very cheap cost. That means that Vigilance, yeah, they're going with their best play. This is literally the best card. Because it is 1 mana, you know, draw a card, pump a creature, activate all the prowess, and they're still going with, you know, the same next card basically. So you can see that this was a big deal. And we knew that it will happen one way or the other, and now we have Emperor, we have counter spells, and now they need to play actually. I think we will win this, honestly. I think we will win, because with the Emperor we can get rid of this last threat. Anger. This is an interesting one. And man, I wish I could go for... They might have another spell. I would love to draw cards. But I would even more prefer this. So we go counter spell. Do we draw or we get one of the counter spells? I really think we have a moment to go like this. I might be wrong, but don't forget we counter it, and I don't think they can buff it too much. Tapland. I probably don't have a time for Tapland. At least not now. I think they can get it to 7, but we'll see. It's not red mana, so we need to you know, be aware that it's not Monstrous Rage, which has way better ratio. And this is a problem. So I think our play for the turn is Emperor into Negate on this, because this gives Vigilance. And this is what we have to do. A little bit weird, but I think that's the play. If we play this, we lose. So I think that's not a great idea. I prefer to make plays that don't lose me the game. I'm crazy like this, you know? That's weird. This is way better than I expected it will be. And now we start live gaining a little bit. I don't think there's much burn in this deck. This doesn't like fit the rest of the strategy. They might have some, you know, Lawrence escape, but that's why we have a counter spell. If they have 2, that's a problem. If they have 0, this is like I hoped it will go. Virtuoso. Well, I wish I got 2 live gain on this one, but it is what it is. Like, it's a good deal, we take it. And because we drew Emperor, we can start with this. Okay, yeah, we definitely go like this. I will take my life, and now, man, I told you, I think we win. I think we win, because they have a lot, and they dealt so much damage, man. They had double Ancestral Anger, on top of the Swift Spear with, you know, Cardo, basically. But here, we don't need to do anything. But we might. If they don't have creatures, we live gain, we create a lot of samurais, because that will be an added problem. Yep, good game. I appreciate it, man. Still, you know, to be honest, it's probably more interesting aggro deck than the others, but, you know, it's still an aggro deck. However, the problem for him was that I can create tokens, and now he needs to play something that goes around those tokens and still kills me, and I'm double life gaining every game. This was such a big deal. Alright guys, I always try to make outro as short as possible, like I'm like, yeah, we'll make it in 1 minute because you kinda know the drill, but I always start talking and it takes 5 minutes, man, like what's wrong with me? Alright, so what about this deck? Man, there are actually so many cool interactions here. Not only you have the Cornucopia that basically gets so much value from Teferi. Man, Teferi is probably absolutely the most best combo ever. Not only you get a Teferi, which is extremely strong planeswalker, like the fact that you can draw cards, especially from a selection, is a big deal. It won me so many games. It costs only 2 mana, and it can live gain you 4 on the turn it enters, while also basically costing 2 mana, so you don't really lose anything. You can keep up your counter spells, and that's a really big deal, especially against, you know, tempo decks like mono red. You need to make 2 plays in 1 turn, otherwise you fall behind, and with this you can absolutely do it. And when you untap and can live gain 2 a turn while ramping 2 extra mana, because you can untap the artifact and the land, this will win you so many games, especially together with the Emperor. So, you know, you life gain so much in this deck with a very little effort, honestly. Oko the Ringleader, even though we don't really play any creatures, it's still pretty interesting, man. Especially with Nissa. You have seen that this combo is absolutely insane, because the only problem with those tokens is basically that they don't have haste. So you need to give your opponent 1 turn to answer, which is the reason you usually need to run them out of resources, because they just keep dying for next 2 or 3 turns. And at some point they stop dying and your opponent explodes. That's what Nissa does. And with Oko you can instantly hit, and you hit with the stats from the cards. So it's actually, you know, an 8/8, 9/9, this kind of stuff. So they together create so much pressure that your opponent is basically dead in like 2 turns. Yeah, with Oko, you start going Nissa, you instantly hit for 8, and then the next turn you hit with Oko for 9. So Oko alone deals 17 damage, even if they remove all the creatures, basically at sorcerer speed. So that's pretty insane interaction, especially that Nissa is something I really enjoy always, and the fact that you can cast her for 5, 6 or 7 is a really big deal. If that was always 7, it's kinda clunky, but for 5 it already creates a value, and it's always 2 for 1 at least. Usually it's more, and for some reason Nissa nearly never dies. Other Planeswalkers have a habit of just dying somehow on the same turn. Nissa is something that sticks way longer than you expect. So, you know, one of the benefits for going banned is basically Nissa and Oko. Still, this is alone worth it probably. Like, the life gain from this is absolutely insane, even against control decks. Like, this lets you ignore the Emperor for a very long time. You have seen that our control opponent used Unions in this spot, and having 32 life meant that he could ignore all of our Emperor board for so much longer. However, he didn't expect that we can hit with Oko, Nissa, this kind of stuff. We didn't really use Tamiyo. I think I literally never drew her in any of the games. But what can you say? If Shuffler decides something, that's how it is. You have seen Tamiyo in so many decks, but she was actually a big deal in the deck. I originally played double Tamiyo, but I decided that we are kinda short on draw. We have joint exploration. I didn't want to go Memory Deluge just because we are kinda heavy on the 4-drops, especially when you add this, right? And I didn't want to overdo it. So yeah, we went with some joint exploration to get into directly from 3 to 5 mana, so we can Sunfall, Teferi, Tamiyo, and Teferi just can give you this card advantage. It's very obnoxious card if your opponent cannot answer it. And Tamiyo is good, but she needs something else to be good with. So, you know, they have different uses basically. And yeah, I mean, that's kinda it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a really fun deck to play, and I want to use Nissa even more. Like, she was great today. And my voice, again, seems to be out of service, so this is time to end. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you had a great fun. Thank you for being here. As always, I really do appreciate it, and I love your comments. So, you know, let it out. Whatever you think, I would love to read it. So have fun, guys, and yeah, see you tomorrow.